Okay, we're gonna try to get a little seat time in today, which is good because I could use break from pulling wrenches for a minute. You do that long enough, you start to go nuts. It's a little breezy. I don't think it's gonna be anything too concerning. Spreading fertilizer's kind of like spraying. You get a little too much wind and it starts to affect you. Usually at work we shut down. I say we shut down. If the farmer just says go, it's like, okay, it's your call. But we try to stop spreading once it gets above about 15 miles an hour for any period of time. That'll start throwing off your spread pattern. It'll start streaking. It makes a little bit, it's not good. But we don't have that today. You get out in the open. I'm kind of in a hole here. You get out in the open, it's a little bit more. Oh, forgot I had that stuff out here. I got the new battery cable put on this back that week before, that same week I went to Iowa. I got a new battery cable put on it. It's nice and shiny and red, and it cranked over a lot faster. I don't think it was getting voltage from that second battery. I think it was trying to do everything off of one. You're sitting at 270 and then you go back to this thing, it's like, I don't wanna. She's still a good girl. She's temperamental, but that's because she's a woman. Still got the 1000 shaft in it. Yep, so went this morning and got the 540 shaft from mom and dad, so I got that. We'll have to swap it. I'm gonna let these two warm up for a minute, go down and grease the spreader, and I'll have to pull it up, put air in the tires. I know I got that one that leaks down. Swap that shaft, we'll be good to go. Alright, let's get this PTO swapped. Tell the last thing I did with this was chop stalks. I was about to be, after what I went through with that bolt yesterday, I was about to just completely lose my shit and have a mental breakdown. Stupid thing got hung up between 540 and 1000. It was in 540 when you kicked the PTO in the gear. It was in 540, but it wouldn't, nothing would shift right to let the plunger that's in there to keep you from putting the 540 shaft in and having it in 1000 gear. That wouldn't, nothing would, it was hung up halfway between gears basically. And I've been down here for 35 minutes screwing with it. Finally, I honestly don't know what I did to get it to work. We're gonna roll with it for the time being. But I was able to get a pair of vice grips on there, and I got a drift in there and was prying on it, and I was wiggling it with a pair of pliers. And I don't know if stuff was just hung up because the 8090 was cold, but it did this to us once before, probably, I don't know, I can't remember how long ago it was when the PTO on this thing grenaded. 4 years ago. I think 5 years ago. I don't know, time flies when you're having fun. Anyway, it did it to me once before, many moons ago, right after the PTO grenaded, and it was because there was a piece of debris stuck in the shift rail from when the PTO clutch came apart that I must have, well, when it blew, it threw shrapnel all the way to the front of the gear case. And by shrapnel I mean like clutch linings, and there's some rivets in there for the PTO brake. That stuff went, like, there wasn't actually hunks of cast iron or anything, but there must have been a floaty hanging around in there after we rebuilt the PTO the first time, and it came back here and got stuck in the shift rails and wouldn't let things work. But it hasn't had a problem since. It's always shifted real smooth. It falls right into gear. So I don't know what this thing was. I don't know if it was just the 8090 stuck, but I got it shifted. I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. We'll put it back together and roll with it. Okay, after a very stressful like hour and a half, I'm trying to get this spreader hooked up. We got air in the tires, we're greased, we're got 540 shaft in, we're all hooked up, we're ready to go. Tractor serviced, everything's finally ready to rock and roll. This time of year where you're trying to get stuff ready for spring and there's stuff to do around the house, it's just, I hate this time of year. So much to do, so little time. Alright, before I go scale myself in and whatnot, let's get stuff warming up. We got our Mac parked in there. It's got half a load of fertilizer on it. We got a job down in Knox we're spreading. We started spreading the beginning of this week. It's a whole thing's variable rate with two, well, there's a blend of potash and AMS, and then just a straight potash, and we run both bins on the spreader, or sorry, just straight AMS. Why they didn't just make, well, I know why, because some of the fields don't need any potash, but it makes it a pain in the ass because we got two hoppers on the truck, so you fill one with your blend and one with the straight AMS. Well, the blend is a way lower rate, or how did that, yeah, the blend is a way lower rate, So keep running out of AMS and having to try to find or running, it's a pain. Variable rate is a pain. Ryan told me I could use the deer if I want, but I brought up that they haven't showed me how to run it yet. So if we need to, I'm licensed now. I passed both my tests. Well, I'm not technically licensed. They haven't sent me my damn license yet, but I passed both the applicator exams, which I didn't know it, but to commercially apply fertilizer, even though it's not a restricted use product, you still have to have an applicator's license because it's commercial, which is interesting. Did not know that. I figured since it wasn't restricted use, they didn't but I mean, it makes sense. But anyway, I passed both exams. They just need to give me my license so I can get my license number, but they want me to know how to run the spreader and the sprayer both. That way, even though technically I'm not an applicator, that's not my job position. If they ever need me to hop in a machine for a day, I have the ability. Plus then I can come down here on a Saturday when we're not running and grab a spreader and go spread my own stuff. So I'm gonna go in, get weighed in, get my blend ticket made, then we can come back out and get loaded. I figured I could show you how I make a blend ticket here at work, since as long as I stay here on my screen in my account, you won't see any other client. There's nowhere to set my camera, but there's no other client data on here besides my own. I don't care about that. So actually there's not even any of my data on here. So we have to tell it how many tons we're shooting for, which in this case is 2.875. And then once I tell it that, I have to tell it to apply it so that it knows what I'm shooting for, because it always defaults to 1 ton, and if you leave that there, it really doesn't like it. Then I got to come over here and select my products. Dry fertilizer, I want AMS, and I want urea. So then we select those and we hit done, and then we come back here and we tell it total product. For AMS, I want 1100, not 115, I want 1150 pounds. Why does that look, why does it say negative? Cancel. Can't quit left clicking. 1150. There we go. I don't know what it would do if I left that negative number there, but it probably wouldn't be happy. And then for urea, I want 4,600 pounds, or not 7,600. 4,600 pounds. And then we hit recalculate using total product, and it will tell me, it should say my total pounds down here, which, as long as those jive with my actual numbers, 1150 plus 4,600, 5,750, that is correct. So then I can save it, and then it will make me my blend ticket. They opened up the ground pile yesterday. They've been pulling, they use a drain vac to pull a hole back away from the doors, and then they take a loader and lift the wall sections out. They've been working on that most of the week. They finally got the doors away yesterday. Okay. Come on, zero out. I want you zero. There we go. Okay, I'm trying to remember. Also, I'm not going to guarantee the steadiness of this particular video. I forgot that I need to order the skeleton case for this thing here before spring, otherwise that crap right there ain't gonna fly. Blend tickets, you got your products will be listed, and then your scale weight. So right there I put my AMS in, ran up to 1,150 pounds, and then it's additive. So the urea, I run that up until scale 5750, and then if there's another product, you'd run it up until, so the scale weights on this are additive, so you don't have to do any math while you're loading. Hate loading urea because it's about like trying to load marbles, and you can't do it without making a mess because it just wants to roll everywhere. Wants to roll out of the bucket, wants to roll out of the blender, wants to roll across the floor. Like that. Okay. Before I leave, I'll broom all that back into the bin. It's literally like for those who've never seen urea, it's literally little. It's like Dippin' Dots, and it'll roll everywhere. And you don't want to have that stuff on a smooth floor and be walking across, just like trying to walk across spilled soybeans. You will slip. My mess is cleaned up, paperwork's done. So we're off to the first field. One thing I'll never understand is why they put these ballards. Well, I mean, I understand why, because they meant this for truck traffic, but the ballards and the side rails on that scale really make getting tractors across there kind of a pain. And there are still a fair, well, not anymore since they got rid of all the spreaders, but there were a fair number of guys that come down here with tractors at one point. Numbers for this guy are, I actually found when I was cleaning out the shop at work, I found a complete decal kit for this that has the sticker that shows the settings for this. I just ain't no sense in putting it on yet until I get the thing cleaned up, but it should be right. So I think there is a setting for straight urea. Oh, urea right there. 3 3¾ lime 1.5 inch, blend 2.5, urea 3¾ okay, so we do have that, and we are at close enough. Basically what that does is it moves it further out onto the slingers. Since it's lighter, that way you can throw it further. And then we are running the 1160, so we're on here. It was running about 47 pounds per cubic foot, so we're just gonna stick with 50. That way, if you go heavier, you should end up having a little extra, which I'd rather have a little extra than not enough. So we want 5 inches on the gate. Holy shit. Of course, as slow as this thing runs, that makes sense. 2, 4, 5. That looks like it, or it seemed like it would be a lot more open. Okay. got a little wet on me. Well, all the spots that I cut in were the spots that I knew I was going to cut in. There just wasn't no doubt about it. That swale that I always fight going through the back there, and then along the woods off of that spring that bubbles out where them trees are, I cut in down there too. But and then back there where you see all that water standing, and you could run right up to the edge of that water and you won't leave a mark. That I don't know why that water stands there, because the ground's it never makes the ground soft. It just, the water stands there, and it's sand. It ain't like it can't percolate through the ground unless there's a clay layer underneath the sand that won't let it go. But anyhow, so there's some ruts out there, but we needed to get nitrogen on this before it started getting too far out of dormancy. Otherwise it's not going to tiller. So, and there's rain coming tomorrow. I wanted to catch that to get the urea in. Otherwise my next chance was going to be the end of this coming week. So, on to Mom and Dad's. Field looked good. I left one little mark right down here where I got the combine stuck 2 falls ago, and I made one little mark right here in the corner by that rock where it's always freaking wet anyhow. Make sure. Field to go. Everything spread. I'm probably gonna have some to spread out. This field, they're running high-speed fiber optic through here, and the damn railroad won't let them drill under the railroad. They can only go over it, so they set this freaking pole. They set it right in the, like, why couldn't they have gone and, you know, put it at the edge of the freaking field instead of out here in the middle of it? And then there's 2 holes. I don't know why the hell they had to dig holes down there. They dug 2 big holes with a backhoe down there. Yeah, a wee little bit. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna cut my rate down a little bit, and we'll put some on here I'm gonna cut my rate down a lot. We're gonna go and we'll spread some out here, and then we'll go back and put the rest on Mom and Dad's. I wish this was one of them that the stop stuck up. There, it's down to 2 inches. So I'll run this out. I don't know if it was the right decision or a wrong decision, but it was a decision, and at least it got that job off the plate. So, but the spreader's cleaned out. I wiped all the mud off, so I think we'll do all right. It should be a heck of a wheat crop this year. I'm hoping, because I just gave her plenty of nitrogen. I was kind of banking on it. I was going to try to spread a load of lime today, but it's 3 o'clock now, and Shelly made plans for this afternoon, and I got to be home about 5, and by the time I get that thing switched over, get the 1600 out, the bucket on, get everything moved down there, I don't think I got enough time to do what I need to do. So we probably should try to do that one evening later in the week, because I want to get that done before things get too far out of hand too. So with that being said, I think I'm going to go ahead and put fuel in the tractor while I'm here. That way that job's done. And I'll probably go ahead and switch this thing over to lime. I just gotta jump sprockets, and then like I say, hopefully later this week we can get that knocked out. So I guess with that being said, that's it for this one, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.